ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਨਾ ਨਾਹਿਨ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਕੈ ਅੰਚਲ ਲਾਭੋ ਬਿਖਮ ਨਦੀ ਜਾਇ ਤਰਨੀ। ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਾਰ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੀ ਮੇਰੀ। ਮੈਂ ਮੂਰਖ ਕੀ ਕੇਤਕ ਬਾਤ ਹੈ ਕੋਟ ਪਰਾਦੀ ਤਰਿਆ ਰੇ। ਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਪੇਖਿਆ ਸੇ ਫਿਰ ਗਰਭਾਸ ਨਾ ਪਰਿਆ ਰੇ। ਤੇਰੇ ਜੋਰ ਮੈਂ ਗੰਗਾ ਕਹਿਤਾ ਹੂੰ ਤੇਰਾ ਸਦਕਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ। ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਸੁਣਿਐ ਸਿੱਧ ਪੀਰ ਸੁਰਨਾਥ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਪਤਿਤ ਪਾਵਨ ਭਗਤ ਬਛਲ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਦੇ ਖਜ਼ਾਨੇ ਜੋਤ ਰੂਪ ਧੰਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਹੋ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਦੀਆਂ ਕੁਛ ਘੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਫਲੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਦਾਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੋ ਪਿਛਲੇ 30 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਸੁਣਾ ਰਹੇ ਸਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਰਾਗੀ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਪਾਸੋਂ ਹਰ ਜਸ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸਰਵਣ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਸੰਧਿਆ ਸਮੇਂ ਦਾ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਸਰਵਣ ਕੀਤਾ। ਹੁਣ ਜੋ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੜੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਅਰਥ ਪਾਠ ਬੋਧ ਢੁਕਵੇਂ ਸਾਖੀਆਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਹੈ। ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੂਲ ਮੰਤਰ ਅਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਉਪਰੰਤ 7 ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਸਰਵਣ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਜੋ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਹਨ 4 ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਮਨ ਚਿੱਤ ਬਿਰਤੀਆਂ ਇਕਾਗਰ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਸਰਵਣ ਕਰੋ ਜੀ। ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਸੁਣਿਐ ਸਿੱਧ ਪੀਰ ਸੁਰਨਾਥ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ has blessed us all by allowing us to come to their sanctuary in this evening time. Our time is Safala. We are being blessed by coming into the sanctuary of the King of Kings, the form of the Almighty Lord on this earth, who are blessing us and will take us out of the cycle of birth and death and join us with themselves in union, so we can be free of the 8.4 million birth and death life cycle and attain extreme bliss. In the last few days we've been doing the vichar of Sri Japji Sahib da part. We've been understanding how to pronounce the part, understanding some of the meanings, and we've been sharing the Sakhiyan. We have completed the Mool Mantar and then 7 Pauriyan after that, in total 8 Pauriyan. Today we start which is known as the 8th Pauree after Mool Mantar. In the 5th Pauree, Sadhguru Sahib Ji gave us a teaching. Gaviye suniye man rakhiye pao, dukh parhar sukh kar le jaye. Our pains are taken away and we are taken to that place of complete sukh if we do what? Gaviye suniye man rakhiye pao. The first earth of that line is Gaviye, to sing. And when we sing, we must suniye, listen, man rakhiye pao. So sing the praises and listen to those teachings by keeping love in our minds. If we take that deeper, it actually gives us the path of spirituality. We have to first sing Gaviye. We have to sing the praises by reading or reciting or singing Gurbani. And what is the path to reach Pao, the loving form of Akal Purkh Vaheguru? They give us 3 steps. Suniye. We must listen. Listen to the teachings. Man, meaning maniye. Believe in the teachings. And rakhiye, to follow the teachings. Sunana, manana, te nidhyasan karna. If we listen, believe, and then follow the teachings, we will attain oneness with Pao, the loving form of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. We know the Siddhs are asking questions, and now they've come to a point where they want Guru Sahib Ji to expand on these teachings, these 3 stages of listening, believing, and then following. What is the Mahatma of listening? In other words, what do we get if we listen to Bani? What do we get if we believe in the Bani? What do we attain if we then follow the Bani? Guru Sahib Ji has split these 3 sections up. 4 Pauriyan are given to listening. What are the effects of listening? This is just listening, not believing, not understanding, just listening. We listen with our ears. So as long as we take in the Gurbani, Guru Sahib Ji in the next 4 Pauriyan are going to explain what we can attain and what levels of spirituality we can reach. We're going to read these 4 Pauriyan together. I will read first, Sadh Sangat will hopefully recite afterwards. I will explain the word Sonaya. You recite that word as I have said it. Sonaya. It's got 3 sounds. Sonaya all together. We don't say Soniye. It's a Dulama, so it finishes with A. The Nana's got a Sehari, so it's A. And the Sasa's got an Ankar, so it's so. So-ne-a. We pause after Sonaya, and then the rest of the Pankti is read out. That is how each Pankti is read. So I will read, and hopefully you will repeat after me. We'll do all 4 Pauriyan to do with listening, and then we'll understand what the benefits of listening are. Kirpa Guru Ji, Sonaya, Siddh Peer Surnath. Sunaya Tart Taval Akas, Sunaya Deep Lo Patal, Sunaya Pohe Na Sakya Kal, Nanak Bhagta Sada Vigas, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਦੂਖ ਪਾਪ ਕਾ ਨਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਈਸਰ ਬਰਮਾ ਇੰਦ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਮੁਖ ਸਾਲਾਹਣ ਮੰਦ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਜੋਗ ਜੁਗਤ ਤਨ ਭੇਦ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਸਾਸਤ ਸਿਮਰਿਤ ਵੇਦ, ਨਾਨਕ ਭਗਤਾ ਸਦਾ ਵਿਗਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਪ ਕਾ ਨਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਸਤ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਗਿਆਨ, ਸੁਣਿਐ 68 ਕਾ ਇਸਨਾਨ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਪੜ ਪੜ ਪਾਵਹਿ ਮਾਨ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਲਾਗੈ ਸਹਿਜ ਧਿਆਨ, ਨਾਨਕ ਭਗਤਾ ਸਦਾ ਵਿਗਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਦੂਖ ਪਾਪ ਕਾ ਨਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਸਰਾ ਗੁਣਾ ਕੇ ਗਾਹ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਸੇਖ ਪੀਰ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਅੰਧੇ ਪਾਵਹਿ ਰਾਹੋ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਹਾਥ ਹੋਵੈ ਅਸਗਾਹੋ, ਨਾਨਕ ਭਗਤਾ ਸਦਾ ਵਿਗਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਐ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਪ ਕਾ ਨਾਸ. So Sadhguru Sahib Ji has blessed us with these 4 pauriyan. Each pauri represents the benefits of listening. And Guru Sahib Ji here is specifically saying listening. To listen, we listen with our ears, we take in the Bani in. Guru Sahib Ji hasn't talked about understanding yet. Sometimes we feel we must understand the Bani before we read it. People say to us, what is the point of reading Bani if you don't understand? Guru Sahib Ji is explaining here that it's before understanding, we must listen. Obviously here we have to read it to be able to listen to it. So this is only about listening. We haven't yet believed in it or built faith in it. We haven't yet followed what it is saying to us. We may not even understand it. All we need to do is listen, and these are the benefits of listening. So, in the first pauri, right at the end, Sadhguru Sahib Ji says, Nanak Bhagata Sada Vigas Sunay Dukh Pap Ka Nas. And they repeat those 2 panktiyan at the end of each pauri. Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji saying, Bhagata Sada Vigas. Vigas means happy. Khidya hoya. Bhagata, the Bhagat, the Gursikh. Those who listen. Those who listen to the teachings, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji is telling us, is always happy, always in bliss. Why are they in bliss? Because they know, Sunaya Dukh Pap Ka Nas. By listening, all their dukh, pap, all the paps, the negative karmas they've collected through this life and the previous lives, Ka Nas. Nas means finish, destroy. Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji destroys those paps and those pains for the believer who listens, for the Bhagat who listens. So I'm stressing again, Guru Sahib Ji hasn't said you have to understand what you're reading. They're just saying you have to listen to what you're reading. We are being pushed to not read Bani over and over. Sri Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji used to read 84 Japji Sahibs a day when they were doing seva of Bhai Lena Ji, who obviously became Sri Guru Angad Dev Sahib Ji. When they did seva Sri Guru Angad Dev Sahib Ji, they would read 84 Sri Japji Sahibs. Many Gursikhs after them have read many Japji Sahib their parts over and over. And people say you shouldn't read Bani like a parrot over and over if you don't understand. But why should we believe people? We should believe Sahib Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, who are telling us, you listen, your pains, your dukh, your suffering, your pap, your collecting negative karams, they'll all be destroyed. So why should we listen to people who stop us from reading Gurbani? Or why should we listen to our mind who says, what's the point of this if we don't understand? This is the point. At the time of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, when they were travelling with Bhai Mardana Ji and Bhai Balla Ji, they went to a village. And in that village, nobody gave them a place to even sit down. Nobody gave them a place to sit. And they were forced out of the village. Outside of the village was a hut. In that place was somebody known as a fakir, a person who travelled. But that's where he was living at that point. And he had a bamari, he had a sarir da rog. He had a rogue on his shareer where he was in pain. You know, like sometimes we get eczema and we scratch and our body boils. He had a bimari worse than that, called cord. And those who are elder will understand what that bimari is. Your body burns from the inside. You have to scratch, you're in pain. And it's constantly bleeding. And nobody goes near you. In the old days, nobody used to go anybody who had cord because they think they'd get that disease. And so he was living in a hut. And Guru Nanak Sahib Ji and Bhai Mardana Ji and Bhai Bala Ji go sit outside just a little way from his hut. And it's in the evening time. And just like the Ragi Singhs did Kirtan, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji started doing Kirtan. They read their Nitnem of the evening, Sudar de Shabad. While this Kori heard this part, he looked outside of his hut's window, if you would. He looked outside and he saw Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. And as he looked at Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, his pain began to decrease. The boiling pain he had from his blood began to decrease. He started feeling shanti. He started feeling cool. Because he could do the darshan of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. He listened to the part. He didn't understand what was being read. Because he wasn't a Sikh. He was just listening to the evening Nitnem Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji was doing. And in the evening time, the sun sets. The sun set and he stopped seeing the darshan of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji and the Bani finished. And his pain came back. He started boiling again. He started scratching again. He was in extreme pain. And he thought that when I was looking at Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, when I was listening to the Bani, I was cooled. My pain was taken away. But now the sun has set. I can't see them because it's gone dark. I can't hear the Bani anymore because the Nitnem is finished. And now I'm in pain again. So he plucked the courage and he went outside. He went and did darshan of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji and he bowed to them. Because he knew they were a spiritual person. He did not know they're the embodiment of the Lord Vaheguru. He knew they must have been spiritual for having that effect on him. And in the same way we come into the sanctuary of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and sometimes we don't realize where we are. All we have to do is sit and do their darshan and listen to the kirtan and katha that is being sung or being read or the bani that is being read, and inside our dukh and pap are being decreased, they are being killed, they are being taken away. He begged Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji to sing more bani. Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji gave hukum to Bhai Mardana Ji to play the rabab. And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji read the shabad, Jio tapat hai baro bar, tapdab khape bahut bekar, jaitan bani visar jaye, tyon pakka rogi bil lai. That person, Jio, our soul, our body, you can take this in a physical or you can take it spiritual. It's burning. We could be burning. He was burning with the disease. We're burning living in this society, being led by our panchachor, following society, not following our Guru's teachings. And we're burning because we have to take those stresses, those strains, those worries, those tensions in our minds every single day. And inside we're burning because we cannot find peace. We are desperate for peace. Whether anybody admits to it or not, to a friend, when we go to sleep at night, we know we cannot hide from our own mind. We know we want peace. And Guru Sahib Ji says, Jaitan Bani Visar Jai. When we forget, our body stops reading Bani or listening to Bani, or stops hearing the Shabad, Tyo Pakka Rogi. They become diseased, we become diseased. We're a Pakka Rogi, we have illnesses, we have worries, we have tensions. When we leave the Bani, when we sing the praises, we are fine. When we stop, we are back into this world which is an illusion. And Guru Sahib Ji sang that Shabad and he became completely cured. In the same way, when we come to their sanctuary and we recite through Japji Sahib that part, all we need to do is listen to it. Understanding comes afterwards. As Guru Sahib Ji says further in one of the next Pauree, Sunaya Sat Santokh Gyan. Now if we break that meaning down, Sunaya, by listening, what do we attain? We attain Sat, truthfulness. We become true ourselves. Some people say, Mera dil ta saaf a. I don't need to go to the Gurdwara. I don't need to follow the teachings. Minu ki load a bani di. Minu ki load a ਰਹਿਤ di. Mera ta dil saaf ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਆ. ਇਹ ਬਾਹਰਲੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਾਦੋਂ? ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਸੱਤ. ਬੰਦਾ ਸੱਚਾ ਸੁੱਚਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਸੁਣਦਾ. When we listen to Bani, that is the only time we will become truthful and righteous. We can't become righteous first. The order in our mind is different. The order that Guru Nanak Sahib Ji says is listen first. Still, we don't have to believe yet. We don't have to understand yet. We don't even have to follow. All we have to do is listen to the Bani and let it go into our ears. This is the amazing effect of Gurbani. Just listen. Santokh, we become content because we don't have to chase the maya of the world. We don't have to chase wealth. We don't have to chase honor, fame. We become content with what we have and accept the hukam of the Lord. And the point I would like to make is Gyan. Sunaya Sat Santokh Gyan. Gyan means knowledge. ਹੁਣ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੱਚੇ ਬਣਾਂਗੇ, ਸੰਤੋਖੀ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਗਿਆਨ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਊਗਾ. What's that knowledge that we're after? Knowledge is understanding. We don't understand first, we listen first, then we will understand. It's like somebody says, kai bari bacche they want to run first before they can walk. And our mind thinks of very deep questions and questions even about Gursikhi. We question many things and they're running questions. We haven't even started walking yet and we want to know answers to degree level before we've even passed maybe kindergarten stage. Let's learn to walk first, and to walk in Gursikhi is to listen. Only listen, nothing else. Listen. ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਲੱਗੇ ਨਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਸੁਣਨੀ ਆ ਕੰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਉਣੀ ਆ. Let it go inside and let it do its work, because when it works it will give us truthfulness, it will give us content, we will become content and we will gain knowledge. Therefore we will understand afterwards. Not understand first, understand afterwards, and then our dukh and paap will be destroyed. Then we have a question sometimes in our minds. Maharaj ਇਹ ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਨ. They give us loads of answers in these 4 pauriyan. And we could go all night on just one of these pauris. Sometimes we have a question. Sada dimag kehda man nahi lagda, dhyan nahi lagda. And we want ways to get concentration. ਤਾਂ Guru Sahib Ji ਨੇ ਇਸ ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤਾ. ਸੁਣਿਆ, ਲੱਗੈ, ਸਹਿਜ, ਧਿਆਨ. We don't concentrate first. We should just listen. Concentration will come afterwards. Dhyan will come afterwards. Dhyan baad ch laguga. Pehla sanu bani sunni paini hai. We're not like yogis who sit and do different asanas, do different positions for concentration. Some people take us away from the Shabad. Kehde Vaheguru na japo. Bas dhyan lao. Tahi dhyan lagu. Phir Shabad de vich baad ch aauga. Shabad baad ch pravesh hunda. Guru Sahib da system is different. First we listen, we recite. Pehla shabad da jaap, baad dhyan lagda. Not dhyan, then shabad. Bhai Gonda ji, a Gursikh of Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib ji. Bhai Gonda ji, a Gursikh of Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib ji. Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib ji, the 7th Almighty Lord at Kirtpur Sahib, sends Bhai Gonda ji to do Prachar, Gursikhi Prachar in Kabul, in Afghanistan. And because he was a Gursikh, he would wake in the early hours of Amrit Vela and recite Sri Japji Sahib da Path. While reciting Sri Japji Sahib, his concentration, he was listening. Sunada Sri Japji Sahib da Path. Dhyan oda lag gaya. Sunaya lag gaya sahaj dhyan. By listening to Sri Japji Sahib, oda dhyan Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib de charna de vich lag gaya. And he focused on holding that charan. And Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib ji at Kirtpur Sahib has done their nitnem. Sri Asaji di War da Kirtan is happening. After that, Bhog penda si, Kada Prasad di Deg varti jandi si, Langar de thali nu Bhog lagda si. But on that day, Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib ji didn't stand up. Utthe nahi. Kyun? Because in Kabul, Bhai Gonda ji is concentrated on that charan. And Guru Har Rai Sahib ji doesn't want to move, because if they move, his concentration would be broken. So they stay sitting there for many hours. Gursikh ne aage benti kiti. They didn't give a jawab. They stayed sitting in that position. Gursikhs didn't understand. Bhi aj tak bhog vi nahi haje lag gaya. After many hours, Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji stood up, bhog lagaya, prasad ta vartya gaya. And then the Sadh Sangat ate. Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji went in the langar and did the seva themselves of the Sangat. They explained to the Gursikhs that mera ek Sikh Bhai Gonda Ji is in Kabul. Utthe Gursikhi da prachar kar raha hai. Oda dhyan lag gaya hai. His focus is in the charan of the true Guru, and if I moved, his concentration would be broken. So jadon assi sunde ha te sehje sehje sada dhyan lagda, Guru Sahib us waqt haਜ਼ਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ. They will come with us and they will stay with us while we are focused on them. And when they're with us, they give us all blessings. Whatever we ask for, they will give it to us. So the key teachings of these Shabads, of listening, all our pains and sufferings go away. If we think we need to understand before listening, Guru Sahib Ji has already answered that question. The understanding will come afterwards. Gyan baad aauga, pehla sunna pehna, pehla bani padhni pehni hai. And then further still, concentration comes afterwards as well. We stop reading Bani because we don't think we understand it, we don't think we can concentrate on it. Assi fir hat janne ha. Eda ki fayda ya? Dhyan ta lagda nahi, samajh ta lagdi nahi. Te hor bhi fir Gursikh iddaं da prachar karde a bhi tote waਂਗੂ Bani nahi padhni. Par Maharaj Sahib ne kehta bhi suno Bani. Listen over and over again, recite Bani. Sahib Mera Neet Nawa. Every time you read it, he'll give you something new. If you recite Bani and you take it in, then Guru Sahib Ji has given those blessings. In the next 4 pauriyan, Guru Sahib Ji develops and explains the Mahatam, what we attain if we then believe. So the first stage of Gursikhi, as we're following this path, is listen. Pehla Bani suno, listen. Then we must start believing and trusting and placing faith in the Bani. So the next Shabads are about Mannan. And in the first Pauree, the Manne Shabad has a La, so we say Manne. Okay? In the next 3 Pauriyan, to complete the 4, Manna has a Dulama, so we say Manna. So I will pause where we need to pause. The pauses in the first Pauree are slightly different. In the remaining 3 Pauriyan, the pauses are after Manna. At the end of each Pauree, Guru Sahib Ji explains, Aisa naam niranjan hoye, jeko man jana man koi. So we pause after jana. Jeko man jana. And the first man has a tippi, so we say that heavier. Man jana. The second man has no tippi, so we say that softly. Jeko man jana man koi. And what basically that means, Guru Sahib Ji is saying, Aisa naam niranjan hoye. This name of the Lord is realized, and the Gursikh who believes in the name of the Lord, he becomes pure. Maya Toret, he understands. Niranjan means completely pure. How does he become completely pure? Jeko man jana. If he believes in the Bani, where should we believe? We have to believe in our minds. Man koi. Je koi aapde man de vich man jauga. So if somebody in their mind believes and places trust in this Bani, then they will understand the effects of this naam which makes us pure. So that's how we pause. So I will repeat first. Kirpa karke piche bolyo ji. Manne ki gat kahi na jaye. Je ko kahe piche pachtaye. Kagad kalam na likhna har. Manne ka beh karan vichar. Aisa naam niranjan hoye. जे को मन जाने माने कोई मन्ने सुरत होवे मन बुद्ध मन्ने सगल भवन की सुध मन्ने मोहि चोटा ना खाए मन्ने जम के साथ न जाए ऐसा नाम निरंजन हुए जे को मन जाने माने कोई मन्ने मार्ग ठाक ना पाए मन्ने पथस्यो प्रगट जाए मन्ने मग न चले पंथ मन्ने धर्म सेती सनबंग ऐसा नाम निरंजन हुए जे को मन जाने मन कोय ਮੰਨੈ ਪਾਵਹਿ ਮੋਖ ਦੁਆਰ, ਮੰਨੈ ਪਰਵਾਰੈ ਸਾਧਾਰ, ਮੰਨੈ ਤਰੈ ਤਾਰੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ, ਮੰਨੈ ਨਾਨਕ ਭਵੈ ਨਾ ਭਿਖ। ਐਸਾ ਨਾਮ ਨਿਰੰਜਨ ਹੋਏ, ਜੇ ਕੋ ਮਨ ਜਾਣੈ ਮਨ ਕੋਏ। ਸੋ these are the 4 ਪੌੜੀਆਂ, 4 ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਮੰਨਣ ਦੀ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਬਾਰੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਪੰਕਤੀ 'ਤੇ ਧਿਆਨ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਇਹ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਦੱਸੀ ਗਈ ਆ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਮਨ ਦਾ ਮੋਹੇ ਚੋਟਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਾਏ, ਮੂੰਹ 'ਤੇ ਚੋਟਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ, ਮੋਹ ਦੀਆਂ ਚੋਟਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ, ਸਗਲ ਭਵਨ ਕੀ ਸੁਧ, ਜੇ ਕੋ ਮਨ ਦਾ ਲੋਕ ਪਰਲੋਕ ਸਾਰੀ ਸੁੱਧੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ each ਪੰਕਤੀ separately. ਜਮ ਕੈ ਸਾਥ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ, ਜੇ ਕੋ ਮਨ ਦਾ, he doesn't have to go with jamdoot. These are the avasthas of the believers. This is what they attain. But the one I want to focus on, mannai parvarai sadar. We've come to these countries abroad and we have families here. We want to live luxurious lives, and the reason why we're living in luxury is we want to do stuff for our families. If we're young, we want to look after our parents. Bujurgan di seva karni. If we're elder, we want to make sure our children are looked after. And we take a gamble. Gursikhi shad ke parwari moh de vich fas janne ha. We leave Sikhi, that is not only going to savar our lok parlok, but it will also savar our families. But we leave that because we go to materialism, and we think that by making money and living in luxury, that will sort our families out. But Guru Sahib is saying, "Bhi tusi fikr ka to karde ha? If you believe in the Bani, mannai parvarai sadar, I will look after your family." By believing, your family life will be sorted. You wouldn't have to worry about it. There was a Gursikh in the time of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, Bhai Akal. He had a daughter. She was to be married. In the old days, when people were married, the vachola would just marry them without seeing, and you would, as a parent, you would say, find a suitable match. A suitable match would be found, and they would be married. And you would put your trust in the vachola. And Bhai Akal Ji put his trust in the vachola, who got his daughter's rishta done with a person called Sadhu Ji. Now Sadhu Ji's family weren't Sikhs. They believed in Sakhi Sarwar. They followed peers. They went to false prophets. They didn't believe in the true Guru. And when the Bhai Akal Ji found out that his daughter's to be married out of Gursikhi, he was very worried. Asita Sikha, and my daughter's getting married outside. But because of his respect, it's very difficult when you have a daughter. Fir rishta koi todda nahi hunda. You can't say no. And Bhai Sadhu Ji's family came the night before, a few days before, and they did seva. He's worried. His daughter's worried because his daughter is a believer of Gursikhi. They do the Nitnem of Sri Japji Sahib, given by Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. But when the time came, she got married. And on the way out, jidan doli le jande si, they went past a pind called Bhai ki Droli. It's near Moga. And there was Sri Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, the 6th Guru, the 6th form of Waheguru. And in the Amrit Vela, after she got married, as they were going, Asaji Diwar da Kirtan was happening. And she heard this. And her husband, Bhai Sadhu, was on a horse, and she was being carried in a dolly because they were quite a rich family. And even further back was the rest of the Junaid, Bhai Sadhu Ji's family, the father, Tai, Chache, everybody else. This Bibi, hearing the Bani of Guru Nanak Sahib, told the carriers of the dolly to take her to Bhai ki Droli, to take her Sri Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. And they took her there. Bhai Sadhu Ji just followed on his horse. She came out, she matha teked, and she sat in the Sangat. Guru Sahib Ji was sat on his takht, and Asaji Diwar, the Kirtan was being sung by the Sevadars. Bhai Sadhu Ji got off his horse, and he looked and he did the darshan of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. And even he sat in the Sangat, although he's a follower of Sakhi Sarwar. Sultan, a Peer, a cult, if you will, in those days. After Asaji Diwar da Kirtan, Sri Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji calls the Bibi. Looks like you've been married. She's crying. She says, my father married me off, and I'm ended up being married into a family that doesn't believe in Gursikhi. Sri Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji called Bhai Sadhu Ji. And just by looking at him and him listening in the Sangat and believing in Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji's bachan. So he believed the bachan when Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji said, believe in Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. All your dukh will be vanished. Your lok parlok, this life, your afterlife will be sorted. He believed in the bachan. This Bibi believed in Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, that she will be protected. She had faith. She believed in the teachings. And by believing, her family was saved. Because Bhai Sadhu Ji, by doing darshan, by coming in the Sangat, took on Gur Sikhi at that point. He went home and he, Jagani Baniya Hundiya, in India, you might know, they go and worship these places. He knocked it down. His father and his family got worried. They built it up again. He knocked it down again. And in a few days, he knocked everything down and he said, Is hun parvar de vich Gur Sikhi chalugi. He left all this other following, these false prophets, these Pakhandis, and he said, I'm only going to believe in Gur Sikhi because I've been blessed and I believe in the teachings of Sri Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Miri Piri de Malik, who is the embodiment of the Almighty Lord. And the Bibi who believed and had faith in Guruji, her family life was sorted. Parwar Sadar. And later on, they had a child. Sri Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji named that child Bhai Rupa. And there's a pind near Moga called Bhai Rupa. And a lot of Sri Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji's old artifacts are still there. There's Pratan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Swaroops. There's Hukamname from Mata Sahib Kaur, Mata Sundar Kaur. The family is still there in Moga and you can visit and you can see all the historical artifacts because Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji gave them to them. And such was their Gur Sikhi. There was a time in the heat when Bhai Sadhu Ji and Bhai Rupa Ji, his son, were in the fields and they found some water and the water looked really cold in the hot weather. And in their minds, they thought, first, we should offer this water to Sri Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, then we should drink it. It's so cool, it's so seetal, this water. And Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji came from Praikari Droli themselves and they took the water from the seva that was shown by these two. A very great Gursikh family. But this is the attainment of those who believe. Guruji sorts out all our problems, all our affairs. And even if we focus on our families, Guruji sorts all our families for the believer. So first we must listen to the teachings, then we must believe in the teachings. And if we believe in the teachings, all our affairs are sorted out. And then the third stage of spirituality, first we listen, then we believe, and the third stage is to follow. If we listen, believe and follow, then we become one with the Lord. And in the next pauri, or the first half of the next pauri, Guru Sahib Ji explains the benefits of the follower. What happens to them? And we're going to recite those. Itthe Bisram are very easy if you follow as I read, and then the Siddhs ask another question within the same pauri. So please recite after me. Panch Parvan, Panch Pardhan, Panche Pavah Dargah Man, Panche Sohe Dar Rajan, Pancha Kagur Ek Teyan, जे को कह करे विचार, करते कह करने नाही सुमार, ताल धर्म दया का पूत, संतोख थाप रखिया जिन सूत, जे को बुझै होवै सचियार, तबलै उपर केता भार, धरती होर परै होर होर, तिसते भारत लै कवन जोर, जी जात रंगा के नाव, सबना लिखिया गुड़ी कलाम, एहो लेखा लिख जानै कोए, लेखा लिखिया केता होए, केता तान सवाले हो रूप, केती दात जाने कौन कूत, कीता पसाओ एको कवाओ, तिसते होए लख दरियाओ, कुदरत कवन कहा विचार, वारिया ना जावा एक बार, जो तुद भावै साई भलीकार, तू सदा सलामते निरंकार, So this is the 16th Pauree after Mool Mantra. And in the beginning of the Pauree, the Siddhs are finding out about what is the blessings that those who not only listen, believe but follow the teachings. Panch Parvan, Panch Pradhan. Those who believe, they become pure. Panch means pure in its first translation. They become Parvan. They are accepted in the court, in the Charan of Vaheguru. They are Pradhan. They are become the leaders because they will be taken first. They will be saved first. Panche Pavahe Dargaheman. Those pure people who follow the teachings will be given honor in the Dargah, in the afterlife. Panche Sohohe Darrajan. In the door of the King of Kings, O Sobdeya. Pancha Kagur Ekteyan. Why? Because those pure have only one focus, the teachings of the Guru, because they're going to listen, they're going to believe, and they're going to follow the teachings. But if we take the translations further, Panch also means 5. And the first 5 who believed were the Panch Pyare who believed in Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. When they asked for a head, Bhai Daya Singh stood up. He was obviously later known as Bhai Daya Singh. And he stood and he gave his head, and Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji took his head off. Satguru Mera Maar Ji Wale. Don't ever question that Guru Gobind Singh Ji couldn't kill and bring back to life. He took the head of the Panch Pyare. All 5 heads were taken complete off with their talwar, and they were brought back to life when Khande Bhatti da Amrit was prepared and put inside of them. These days, because we don't believe anymore, Guru Sahib Ji is telling us to believe. We don't believe anymore, and we question Guru Sahib Ji being able to take the heads and bringing them back to life. But Gurbani, like I said, believes that. Satguru Mera Maar Ji Wale. They can kill and bring back to life. So don't think Guru Sahib Ji cut goats. That's what we might read in English books. Guru Sahib Ji took the heads of the Panch Pyare. They brought them back to life. They were the ones who were first Parvan. They were the ones who were accepted because they gave their heads first. Panch Pradhan. Then those of us who give our heads to the Panch Pyare. We don't even have to physically give our heads anymore. We only give them spiritually. But we make a promise that if the Panth requires it, we then give our heads physically. We only give our heads spiritually. Then those of us who give our heads to those Panch, we become Pradhan. We become superior because we are the Khalsa. We are the believers, the followers, the Gursikhs of the Almighty Lord. We are the forge of the Almighty Lord. We are then Pradhan. We become superior because we are the blessed ones. Panche Pavahe Dargheman. So those who are going to be honored in Lok Parlok, those who read the 5 Banis in the morning, because once we give our head, we have to read 5 Baniya. Those who read those 5 Baniya, they will be given a place. So Amrit Shakke doesn't mean we finished. That is where we begins. Tahi Maharaj kehne Nama Janam Hunda. That's where everything starts. Then we have to have the discipline that Bhai Tarjinder Singh has been sharing with us. And the first discipline is to wake up in the early hours and read 5 Baniya. And those who do, they will get that honor in Sachkhand. Panche Sohe Darrajan. Those who are going to be honored at the door are then those who not only read 5 Baniya, they keep the Panch Kakar. And today Bhai Tarjinder Singh will talk about those. The Shiromani Kakar, Kesh, Kada, Kashera, Karpan and Kanga. Those who keep those 5 Kakar, they will be the ones who are honored at the door of the King of Kings. Pancha Gur Ek Teyan. And those who stay away from the Panch Chor, the Bajjar Krats, they are the ones who can defeat those because they have the Dhyan in Vaheguru. They're completely following the teachings because they're focused on the teachings. So they listen, believe and follow the teachings. I'm coming to the end of my time this evening, but I want to share something with you. I shared it a few days ago. If you're in a school and you take exams, to pass the exams you have to listen to your teacher. Then you have to believe in what your teacher is saying. Then you have to follow what your teacher is saying when you take the exam. If you listen, believe and follow, you've got the best chance of passing that exam. If you listen but don't believe, then you won't pass because you won't believe what they've taught you, what you listen to. If you don't even listen, you've got no chance. If you listen and believe but then don't follow what they told you in the exam, you probably fail as well. But those of us who do all 3, listen, believe and follow, then we will probably have the best chance of passing, and Guru Sahib Ji promises us that. Those of us who listen, believe and follow their teachings, sunna, manana, nidhyasan karna, they will do tat twang da sodan. That's what the words that pracharaks might use. That means they understand the difference between themselves and Nirankar, and they become one with the Lord. And this is what Guru Nanak Sahib Ji explained to the Siddhs, and they understood that this is our spiritual path, and it doesn't matter if we can't follow yet. It doesn't matter if we don't even believe yet, because let's all at least do the first thing. Let's all listen to the Bani. Let's listen every day with our ears, and holy, we will be blessed to believe and then be able to follow. Later the Siddhs asked about the world and creation, because they believe the world is held up by this bull. A bull who holds up the world. That's what their faith believes. And Guru Sahib Ji said, what holds up the world, Taul Taram Daya Kaput. That Taula is the Taram. Faith holds up this world. But faith only comes from Daya, from compassion. We must get compassion first. We only develop compassion if we listen, believe and follow. Then we gain compassion, then our faith will develop. And when our faith develops, then we will be held up in this world which is Maya, which we're being led all over the place when we're trying to do the best materialistically. Have faith, develop compassion, listen, believe and follow the teachings. The Siddhs continue to ask further. And I'm going to do 3 more Pauree and then we're going to do Samapati, because that will be halfway through Sri Japji Sahib. They asked about the characteristics of the world. Guru Sahib Ji explained the characteristics. Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. Satogun is living simply. Rajogun is living a life of luxury. And Tamogun is living the life of an animal, animalistic. And really, in a way, if we want to reach God, because we live in this world, we have those characteristics. When we act like animals, we are have characteristics of Tamogun. When we try to live in luxury, good clothes, oily foods, then it's Rajogun. But when we live simply, we are doing Satogun. And if we live as much as we can in Satogun, simply, then we are closer to the Lord. Because Tamoguni Jeeves are further away, because animals are further away, because they don't think. We know what animals do. They only have 3 or 4 actions that they do daily. Eat, sleep, and procreate. That's all they do. That's the furthest away. So we should live our lives in Satogun as much as we can. We will become close to the Lord, but even that is not one with the Lord, living simply. We have to become higher than that. Higher than that is by listening, believing, following the teachings. So we're going to read these Panktiyan, and then we're going to do Samapati. It's 3 more Pauriyan, and then we'll be halfway through Sri Japji Sahib, and then in the next days we will finish it. Asank Jap, Asank Pao, Asank Puja, Asank Tapatao, Asank Granth Mukh Ved Paath, Asank Jog Man Rahe Udas, Asank Bhagat Gun Gyan Vichar, Asank Sati, Asank Datar, Asank Sur Moh Paksar, Asank Moon Liv Laitar, Kudrat Kavan Kaha Vichar, Varya Na Java Ek Var, Jo Tud Bhavai Sai Palikar, Tu Sada Salamat Nirankar, Asank Murakh Andhkor, Asank Chor Haram Khor, Asank Amar Kar Jahe Jor, Asank Galwad Hatya Kamahe, Asank Papi Paap Kar Jahe, Asank Kude Aar Kude Phirahe, Asank Malesh Mal Bhak Khahe, Asank Nindak Sir Kar Hai Paar, Nanak Neech Kah Vichar, Varya Na Java Ek Var, Jo Tud Bhavai Sai Palikar, Tu Sada Salamat Nirankar, Asank Naab Asank Thav, Agam Agam Asank Lo, Asank Kahe Sir Paar Hoye, Akhri Naam Akhri Salah, Akhri Gyan Geet Gun Gah, Akhri Likhan Bolan Baan, ਅਖਰਾ ਸਿਰ ਸੰਜੋਗ ਵਖਾਣ, ਜਿਨ ਇਹ ਲਿਖੇ ਤਿਸ ਸਿਰ ਨਾਹੇ, ਜਿਬ ਫੁਰਮਾਏ ਤਿਵ ਤਿਵ ਪਾਹੇ, ਜੇਤਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇਤਾ ਨਾਓ, ਵਿਣ ਨਾਵੈ ਨਾਹੀ ਕੋ ਥਾਓ, ਕੁਦਰਤ ਕਵਨ ਕਹਾ ਵਿਚਾਰ, ਵਾਰਿਆ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੈ ਏਕ ਵਾਰ, ਜੋ ਤੁਧ ਭਾਵੈ ਸਾਈ ਭਲੀ ਕਾਰ, ਤੂੰ ਸਦਾ ਸਲਾਮਤ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ. So just before we finish, a couple of points. Jo tudh bhavai sai palikar. That shabad is sai. We have to do the part sai. If we say sai and have a nasal sound, sai is a word for Waheguru. Sai is a word for oho. Jo tudh bhavai. Whatever you, jo thonu paunda, whatever you will, whatever you command. Sai palikar. Ohi changa. So that part is sai, not sai. If we say sai, it will change the meaning. So sai palikar. The first two pauriyan that we read are to do with this Rajogun, Tamogun, Satogun. So we have to live as simply as possible. And in Tamogun, it explains, Asank Galavad Hatya Kamahe. So cutting any head is Tamogun, the furthest away from Waheguru. Nanak neech kahe vichar, neechan di vichar udon ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ Maharaj ne. And cutting anybody's head is not just murder of humans, it's cutting heads of animals. If we partake in that through the third person because we want to buy meat, somebody has cut the head for our swad, for our jeevda swad. What we are doing, we're having characteristics of tamogun, which like Maharaj is saying, Nanak neech kahe vichar. That is the furthest away, it's the lowest of the low. That's what Maharaj Sahib is describing. Those who cut the heads. The final Pauree, just the teaching points, what Maharaj Sahib is giving us. Maharaj uses the word asank nav, asank thab, agam, asank lo, asank kahe ser par hoye. Because the Siddhs were described to about the Rajogun, Tamogun, Satogun. And then the Siddhs asked, what about Naam then? If that's Maya and that's false, what about Naam? Where does Naam exist? And Guru Sahib Ji goes, Asank Nav, Asank Thab. Naam exists everywhere. God's energy, particle exists everywhere. How do we reach that particle? That's what the Siddhs next asked. And these are the questions we have. Akhri Naam, Akhri Salah. Akhri means the word. Through the word, we will realize Naam. We will realize God. What is the word? The word is the word of the Lord. The word is Gurbani. Akhri Naam. Through the word, through akhars, through this word, this is the physical. Our bodies are physical. Through physical, we reach Nirgun, the formless. And the word is Gurbani. Akhri Naam, Akhri Salah. Sing the praises of those akhars. Sing the praises. By singing the praises, through those singing the praises and reciting the name of the Lord, we will become one with the Lord. But Guru Sahib Ji at the end of each of these pauriyan is showing their nimrata. Jo tod bhavai sai palikar. Whatever you do, great Lord Waheguru, ohi changaya. Tu sada salamat. Tu sada asthit rehne wala. In other words, you never finish. You cannot be pushed over. Doldani tu nirankar, the formless Akal Purkh Waheguru. If I've made any mistakes, I beg for forgiveness. You, the Sadh Sangat, Guru Khalsa, you can bless me with Brahma Gyan so I can continue sharing the teachings correctly. I pray to Satnam Sahib Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji that he can bless us all with Gur Sikhi Di Daat so we can all experience that bliss while we're living, so our lok and parlok will be sukhi. Deho sajjan sisiriyan jo hova Sahib chu mel likhya Katha na shutiya khen khen bhulanhar baksanhar baksle nanak par utar. We will come back again in the next few days to finish Sri Japji Sahib. Let us all stay and listen to Bhai Tarjinder Singh, who is sharing us the teachings, the discipline of the Khalsa. Guru Sahib Ji told us those who listen, believe and follow become one with the Lord, and those who follow ultimately follow this true discipline. And that is what Bhai Tarjinder Singh is sharing. He's going to come to the stage now. Let us read the last two lines out of respect, and that will be the Samapti. Jo tod bhavai sai palikar, tu sada salamat nirankar. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.